Hello. Had a little bit of technical difficulties at the beginning, but I think we're okay now. How do I sound? You guys hear me? How's the mix? Let me know. I think today I'm going to be doing some more painting, less talking. So, yeah, let's get into it. But I don't know what to paint. I prepared nothing. I prepared nothing. I was thinking, though, to go back to my roots here and do some virtual plein air. Let's see what pops up on the old virtual plein air. Let's go. Let's see. Let me show you guys. All right. Oh man, what's up, Model Engine Nerding? How you doing? You're the first one in the chat. Bravin Music, No Speak. Hey there. I dig the lo-fi outrun chill wave. Hey, it's royalty free. That's why I'm using it. You know, okay. There's a bit of delay between my feed and the chat, so I may be a little slow to respond, but I'm always slow to respond. So what else is new? What's up, Just Shen? Scott Murray? Excited to see what this will be about. Me too. This is the thing with streaming, is I just don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I just start painting and we'll see. And it's been a while since I've streamed, like actually streamed, so it might be a disaster. But we're along for the ride. That's why I call it paint, fail, repeat. The stream, because I'm here to fail in front of everybody. Sounds good. The man with no screen name, thanks for coming back. ASMU, how are you doing? Ashiro. Hello, Jeremy. Long time no stream. Yeah, well, first stream of the year. I did one in December before the new year. But that was mostly just sort of talking about where I've been. I know I've been missing for like 5 years, so just updating everybody on my situation. Just noticed I was in the other channel, and that's why I was notified for the stream. Yeah. That's what I meant by technical difficulties. There was a little bit of a hiccup between my OBS started a new stream instead of the one that was scheduled. But we're in the you're here, you're in the right spot. So good to have you, Fernando. Are you okay? We got two Brav. We have Bravin Music and Fernando Bravin. You guys related? Anyways, I'm in Map Crunch, my favorite site for Street View, because you always get something random. And I'm already kind of digging this. It's Zurich, that's Germany. Quite nice. I love the green stuff. So we might do something over here just because, I don't know, because green. I haven't painted into like a green painting in a while, so it could be kind of relaxing. Then I start moving around, and then I can't find a good spot. Junhao, what's up, Junhao? Thanks for coming by. Oh, I liked all that sunlight. Wow, look at this. This is kind of fun. I like these little alleyways. Not sure what's going on with the blur. I can maybe just make up my own lighting for this. I did like the sunny shots. Maybe I'll get some up the hill over here. do y'all think? Oh, sunny again. I don't like the sunniness. Kind of a lonely road. I don't know, I'm kind of between the lonely road or the tractor. What do you guys think? If you guys want to follow along, I will share you my location. We can sketch on this for a little while, and then, who knows, maybe I'll switch to something else. Keep it short. Speed sketch. So, my stream status is poor. Not sure why that is. But you guys just let me know in the chat if things are itching. I've been missing these sessions. Oh, thanks, model. Well, I could do what I usually do when I can't make up my mind. I could just do both. But I like these shots. I like both of them. I like this one and this one. This one's a bit moodier. There's something kind of interesting about this moment here. Yeah. It's, you know, it's like whatever you feel like in the moment. How are you guys doing since the last stream? How's the new year been? Hello, hello. I've been painting watercolors outdoors. Heated cup, heated gloves. Oh man, where are you? Actually, I'd love to know where everybody's at that's watching. We got a handful of you guys here. Where are you guys coming from right now? Let's try to figure this out. I usually don't like doing shots that are just like obviously middle of the road, but you know, you do it a little, do something different. Yeah, where are you guys coming from? Ohio. Hey, I grew up in Ohio. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Went to school in Columbus, Ohio. College in Columbus, Ohio. Montreal, fantastic. Oh, it's cold. That's cold. I love Montreal. I really do. It's one of my favorite cities, but I just could not live there, man. It's too cold, especially in the winter. Oh yay! I don't want to deal with that. We live in Los Angeles, and you know, obviously it's pretty warm all year. This is about as cold as it gets right now, at like the 60s, 60s Fahrenheit. And my wife like wants to take the kids to the mountains so we can go see snow, and I'm like, why? Why do you want to see snow? What's so great about the snow? I don't really care about the snow, because I grew up with that. I dealt with that my whole life. I'm not fascinated at all by the snow. Too soon to go back to the snow. San Francisco, Junhao. Nice. Probably a bit chillier there than it is over here. This house a little taller. How's the music? Is the music a little loud? A little hot? I'm gonna turn it down just a bit. Yeah, it's cold. How you guys doing with the fires? Yeah, so yeah, the fires was a pretty big deal. We're pretty lucky where we are in LA. We're not we're kind of in the San Fernando Valley area, which didn't really get affected much. The fires, it was like the Palisades fires as it was getting close to Encino. That's about as close as it got to us, which really wasn't that close for where we are. So we were very fortunate to not have to deal with that. But unfortunately for a lot of people, a lot of friends, they were affected by it. You know, either had to move or lost their home. So it's really sad. It's such a bummer. And you know, it is what it is. You live in LA and you hear about fires, you see them all the time. This one was, in all my years of living in Southern California, this is definitely the worst. And they're calling it the worst natural disaster in U.S. history. Like that's kind of what we're talking about here. It's pretty nasty. I'm sure you all heard all about it, but yeah, we were lucky. We weren't affected at all. I know a lot of people were reaching out and asking, and I appreciate that, but it's not me to be worried about it. It's a lot of other folks that were affected. And we did what we could. We tried to donate what we could and help friends that, got the worst of it. So. But yeah, now it's raining. Actually, walking in because my studio here is the garage. Basically, converted it to a workspace. Walking out here, it's raining. It's been raining all week, which is fantastic. No fires while it's raining. Yeah. Darnell, what's up? Good to see you here. I think snow seems like a magical thing for people who aren't used to it. Yeah, I get that. I get that, but it's like that magic has been dispelled for me. I'll admit, it is nice. Snow is nice when you're someplace warm and you don't have to go outside. Otherwise, I don't want to deal with it. Seeing the kids play in the snow is fun. So, I mean, that's kind of worth it, you know, just to get them to go play in the snow. I'm down for that. But personally, if I had my own choice, I would stay towards. So, how about the rest of y'all who are here? Where are you guys coming from? The world is crumbling real bad. It seems that way, right? In Brazil, 2024, we had a huge flood in the south region. More than 800 families were affected. Oh man, I think I heard about that actually. That's pretty wild. Yeah, you're gonna have climate issues, you know, that create these insane weather, once in a generation, once in a millennia weather events, and that's just going to continue. It's not going to stop. It's kind of where we're headed. Yeah, I'm thinking about where we might move next, and one of the big considerations, like, what places can we move to that are going to be least likely affected by climate change events? It's like a real consideration now. I'm doing a lot of shift clicking to get like straight lines. You guys notice that? I'm just lazy. I don't want to draw things out with my arm. Plus, I kind of just like the way it looks. I like the kind of jagged, irregular look. I don't want the lines to, like, I don't want my lines to be like too straight where it just feels rigid. I want to give it some character. A little bit of like warp here and there. But if you use shift click a little too much, that it could come off as inorganic, kind of stiff. I don't know about this house. Baltimore, Maryland. Oh my god. So we have Ohio, where I grew up, and then we have Baltimore, Maryland, which is where my first job was. Wait, what happened to the painting you asked everyone to pull today? It has nothing to do with the streams yet. It's called a bait and switch. I was just saying, like, I changed my mind on what I'm gonna paint, like, seconds leading up to the stream. I'm like, should I do that? Nah. I kind of feel like doing a virtual plein air. I don't know. I could change my mind any second. That's how I used to do it too. I just like sometimes I'll paint like 3 things in one stream. I just like I don't know. I'm ADD. Like legit. I have low attention span. If I get bored with a painting, I just like move on. That's why I have all those black and white sketches that just never get completed. It's kind of an illness that I have. I just can't make up my mind on what to paint when I have free time. When I'm at work, like I don't have a choice. I got to do my task. So it's but once you get me like, oh, you can do whatever you want. I'm like, okay. Can I do a little bit of everything? Yeah. Falling into love hurts just as much as falling out of it. But I'll scrape my knees and scar my shins. I hope you never doubted that I'm down for you. Wanna hit the town, make it loud, be a clown for your my bad perspective. Be a Romeo and Juliet, except without the age difference, and we can forget the death. Cause this is love at first sight. There's no doubt in my mind. And darling, forget about the time, cause you're mine. And I'll spend every second chilling with you. Like just that vintage Nickelodeon innocence love. Innocence the type of if we fight, let's chill and make up. You're one in a million pay stubs, but to me you're like a lottery. There's a lot of fish in the sea, but you're a catch that's so startling, baby. I know that there's a lot to do. It's awful too. And then yeah. Did you? Oh, so Tien came here just for that? No. If you need to go, it's okay. if you're bored by the virtual plein air, y'all can head out. I won't blame you. I won't blame you. To be honest, I like the first one in that post. Oh, to be honest, you like the first one. Oh, okay. Earth, how you doing? Good to see you. AK, what's up? Oh, perspective. What would we be without you? I know, right? My thing with perspective is like, don't make it too perfect. Make it like kind of right. It's got to pass the squint test, but then that's about it. Put one of those tractors here, maybe. Taking some liberties on this. Sometimes I like to, even if it's like a really mundane image, just try to get some movement in there. This is a pretty mundane shot, but like if we can get some sort of like attitude to it, some, I don't know how else to say it, like some eye movement, some shape direction. And, you know, sometimes I'll just like in red line just kind of plan out how I want things to flow. Might not make sense at first, but I kind of use it to guide. Maybe because like I think the thing is like clouds could be whatever, wherever. So I like to use things like clouds and foliage and grass and the plants to kind of flow in a certain direction, just to kind of like give the image some energy. There's nothing more fun than like taking a very plain image and giving it some energy, right? Make the mundane a little bit more exciting. And this kind of just like scribbles right now. Yeah, something like that, maybe. I absolutely love the lines you're making here. So fun. Oh, man. You're on your walking pad, Tian? I need that. I need to get some more walking in. This job of being a concept artist again has got me sitting a lot more. See, I'm just kind of like correcting some of these lines. It's always good to flip your image too, just so you can kind of see it from another perspective. Right? You know, there's all kinds of junk in this shed, and honestly, like the junk can be whatever. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be perfect. But if I can have it follow along that sort of tangent, then even better. You know who's really good at making mundane images look juicy and exciting? Angela Sung. She's a good friend of mine. She's very, very good at. She's gotten so good at like just like backgrounds, making the backgrounds feel like really exciting, not stiff at all. Ethan Fox? Yeah, he's really good too. Sorry, needed a cough break. Still getting over stuff. Cold or something. Your work has an exercise tournament? Damn, that. When I worked at High Moon in San Diego, man, everybody there was like so fit. Everyone was so in shape. Like there was a crew of people like during lunch that would just go surfing. Everybody did some like yoga or did running or did something for lunch. Like lunch break was like time to go exercise for everybody. And we had this like Fitbit challenge with all the Activision studios. And this is with all of them, right? Including Blizzard and King and all those. And we're a small studio compared to like Blizzard and that. And it was like a Fitbit challenge, how many steps you can get like as a whole team. And we like destroyed everyone. Like none of the other studios were even close. it was so crazy. I played Ultimate Frisbee like twice a week and then went running the other days. Because I don't surf. I don't want to go in the ocean like that. But yeah, I was I think I was in good shape. I was getting a lot of exercise. Now it's work from home life. It's a little bit harder. I need to get back on Ring Fit. Right? The Switch game. Ring Fit was cool. I don't know if you guys can kind of tell, but I'm sort of following these lines in red that I made. Kind of. It's not perfect. But you get, hopefully kind of get the idea. If I add like a little details, like sometimes you wonder like, okay, where do I put the little grass detail? Where do I put the cloud detail? You know, like how do I position this accent, this tiny prop, maybe this color? These, thinking about it in terms of like direction and flow and that energy is a good way to answer that question, where you actually put things in your composition. Like everything kind of warps along that direction of action. You just kind of like need to make a judgment call. Like sometimes it just can look a little forced, and you don't want it to look forced, I guess. But, yeah. Like instead of a straight telephone pole, maybe it bends a little bit, and then over here, this one can bend a little bit this way. I wonder how Angela thinks about it. You guys haven't seen Angela Sung's work? I'm sure you guys. Very good. She's the warrior painter. Founder, I guess? Yeah, I don't know. President? Yeah, okay. So we're kind of scrunching these shapes. This is just the drawing. Once I put my shapes down, rolled over. Get a walk pad. Ring Fit is awesome though. Yeah, Ring Fit's great. Ring Fit is fire. Reminds me of Wii Sports era. Yeah, totally. Hi, man. Glad to see you here. Greetings from Italy. Oh, Libertas. I think you were here last time. Libertas. I don't know, I'm not saying that correctly. Hey, Zen is here. Zen has entered the chat. How's it going, Zen? Her work is crazy. The color accents and shapes are on another level. Yeah. Yeah, Angela's a beast. It looks like she does a lot with shadows. Mm-hmm. Totally agree. All right, so I think I'm gonna start blocking in some shapes. Usually just kind of start grayscale. I'm thinking about doing like something a little bit more painterly. Transfer off. I don't want any transfer. Just want all the brushes to be super hard and chunky. And I'm okay with like little gaps and stuff. I'm not trying to make the shape like super duper solid. Because again, it's like, I don't want it to be too stiff. Feeling wise. No transfer. Don't want to do any mushy brush. Is there any techniques for drawing those red lines? Yeah, you know, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I kind of drew out my composition, so I had a general idea of where I wanted to go with the placement of the objects in the scene. So I had that going for me. It wasn't like total, like I was kind of following already what I have placed in the scene. And then it's just like, generally, I like to follow, I guess, I don't know if this is technique or not, but sort of like the Fibonacci spiral, sort of, where I put my spiral like on a third somewhere. And then I just make sure at like different stops along the spiral, I have another focal point, you know, maybe like on different thirds. I don't know. And then I would just want to like draw the eye in. So you got your spiral that kind of draws the eye in, but not exactly. I don't know. It's kind of a feeling thing. So yeah, I don't know. Just play with it. It's like there's no wrong answer, I guess, as long as like you somewhat follow rule of thirds, somewhat have like a direction of action. You know, like it's not really, not the kind of thing where it's like, oh, you got to do it this way. I'm just playing, and I'll probably change my mind multiple times as I go. And I'm working like layer by layer, so I don't really care about being messy. All I'm thinking about is like the shape. The shape. That's kind of why I work black and white this way. And I know it looks a mess, but it probably won't look a mess. Well, I don't know. Maybe it'll always look like a mess. I don't know. But hopefully it'll look a little bit more like I'm intending to. So this is a process I use just like if I want to just do some quick sketching. You find that talking through our process helps? Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm doing virtual plein air. Zen, let me actually share again my location. If you guys want to paint along, you absolutely can. In the video description, I put the link to the Discord. Remember the old Discord? I don't know if you guys were on there years ago. Well, it's collected a lot of dust these last number of years, but it still exists. If you guys want to follow along, paint along, and you want to post your rendition of this area, please, by all means. You don't have to do my shot. You can travel around Zurich, out in the country here, and find a nice spot to set your virtual easel down and your virtual canvas and start your virtual painting. There are no such thing as bad work. So just do it. Have fun. If you want to try this process, go ahead. If you want to do your own thing, do your own thing. It's just about having fun and making lots of mistakes. That's why I call this paint, fail, repeat. That's kind of how I like to think about it. Should be about having fun, right? Again, sort of feeling out the contours, the red line contours, somewhat. All right, let's do the next layer. Again, I'm just kind of piecing it together layer by layer here. Honestly, as we get to the edge of the painting, I kind of just don't care. Just let a lot of this go. I like this brush a lot. It's my Ella Prima Richard Schmidt brush. That's how I think about it. But not as good as Richard Schmidt, obviously. Oh, it is Zurich. It is. I only went to the airport? Oh, man. I've never been to Germany, not even the airport. I've never been to Europe, actually, at all. Now I'm thinking about moving to Europe, but that's a different story. Anyone here from Europe? What's it like? How are the schools? This is probably not a very good time to stream for folks in Europe. Actually, this is not a good time. This is not a good time to stream at all for any time zone, really, unless you live in like the middle of the Pacific somewhere. I know there's some people who've been on here from the Philippines. Maybe they appreciate the time. I have to turn in for the night, but thank you for streaming for us. Man with no screen name, thank you so much for joining in. Europe is more functional, except for Brexit. Okay. Noted. Tolly, hi from Australia. Wait, you're no longer in Canada? What happened? Assuming you're the right Tully and not an imposter. Yeah, this is not a good time to stream. That much is certain. But thank you guys so much for joining in this awkward time. I assume most people will probably just watch the restream VOD, whatever, later. And that's okay. Didn't want to be the 51st state. Oh, in Canada? Yeah, back in Australia. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. Actually, I will be. I haven't announced it anywhere yet. So think plans could still fall through, but I plan to be in Adelaide actually. For CDW, I'll be doing a workshop there. Little talkie talk workshop in Adelaide with CDW. I'm sure you're familiar. Yeah, I'll be there, and I'm bringing the whole family with me. Bringing all the little kids and everything. Pacific time is good? Yeah, I imagine so. I mean, it's not too late. I don't know, like I get tired early now. I feel like I'm getting old. Can't stay out late anymore. I used to be able to stream 3 hours, 4 hours, do good at balancing chat as well as challenging myself. I can't really do that anymore. I'm a little bit slower now. Adelaide is nice. You will like it. When are you planning on coming? I think July something. It's early, yeah. We're just doing like the logistics right now for it. So I'm being a little I'm announcing a little early. You're not in Adelaide, are you, Holly? Yeah, like even my random brush strokes can kind of follow that same line, those same red lines. So that you can subliminally direct your audience eyes around the painting, maybe. Okay. Multiply. I like to do multiply and give it like a nice, give my lines a nice red, warm color. Then I guess if you guys remember, I used to like doing this. Oh, that's fine. I can do this. I used to like do like a hot pink background. Gross, bright color. It's okay, it's not gonna stay there. You probably won't even see it. It's just, you gotta feel it. You don't see it, you feel it. Let's turn transfer back on. That's my underpainting. Nice underpainting, thank you. Best compliment. Kuya JP. Kuya. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining in. I'm glad you like the work. I can't talk right now. Tully's in Canberra, of course. Yeah, you should definitely come. I don't know how far that is. Is that a flight from Canberra to Adelaide? You have to visit Sicily. Of course. Love to visit Sicily. Sign me up. I think a lot of our travel ends up being going to visit family because we got little ones, and it's good that because we don't have any family in LA, so it's good to like have the kiddos go see their family, right? Their grandparents and stuff, their cousins. So a lot of our traveling kind of just ends up being visiting family, which is great. But it kind of limits our ability to just travel for leisure. Unless like I get invited to do a workshop, and then that kind of like forces like, well, I guess we're traveling to Australia. I mean, it's like kind of for business, but you know, we'll make some fun out of it for sure with the kids. I wish we, yeah, I hope in the future we'll do like more travel that isn't necessarily family. Unless I could get my family to go somewhere. Maybe that would be the kill two birds with one stone thing. But I definitely want my kiddos to, you know, see more of the world. Travel. I didn't get to travel when I was young. I don't think it wasn't until I was like 16 that I got on an airplane, and then like I never left. Like I really never went anywhere when I was little, you know, younger, growing up. We just couldn't afford it or anything. So it's yeah. Our vacations were like we would go to this like hotel in Ohio, you know, something that's our vacation, which is great. I appreciate it. You know, my parents sacrificed a lot even for that, but you know, it's not like what my spoiled kids get these days. Like my son's been many places already, and he's gonna go to Australia. How cool is that? My son and daughter. Yeah, I'm still changing the shapes as I add color, as I add a little bit more definition. I start to realize, okay, maybe that looks. Again, this feels a little forced. Let's break it up a little bit. Tully, are you still? If Tully's still here, are you still with You're still with Titmouse? Still working with them? It's a little bit of energy to this, but I'm not really sure. Big. Okay. Get coffee in Europe and bread. Bread is real. I do love bread. I will not argue there. Wonder Bread is evil? Yeah, don't buy that stuff. Anymore, if I read the ingredients and I don't know what's in it, I just don't eat it anymore. Nah, new contract now. Finished with them around December. Okay, cool. Hey, I'm happy you're getting work, man. I really am. Like, there's a lot of people in animation, especially animation, who are not doing well right now. So, I mean, I feel super lucky, you know, in this climate. So to have work. So yeah. Definitely happy for you. Wish you the best. Let's catch up soon sometime. Not while I'm streaming, Ollie. Would love to hear from you. July will be kind of cold. All right. Fernando says, I don't have kids, but I feel like giving your kids all that you couldn't do when you were a kid should be one of the most unique feelings ever. Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. I also don't want them to be spoiled, so it's like, it's like a balance. Yeah, no, it is awesome to be able to do that for them, and just see how they react. It's cool because, like, you know, with kids, you get to kind of relive some of the magic that you take for granted all the time, like seeing a movie for the first time again, or like, you know, whatever it is, like experiencing something new, you know, new for them, and it, you know, it makes life exciting again, even to curmudgeon. Yeah, like totally. That's probably the best part, or one of the best parts of having little ones in your life. Get out and discover baguette or something. Smash that like button. Oh man. Well, there was like over, I don't know how many. There's a handful of people here, and there's not as many likes as there are people in here. So everybody smash that like button. Gosh, I never want to say that again. That feels unnatural. Smash that like and subscribe. My son learned that because he likes watching some YouTube, you know, channels, and he's learned that. Don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, hit the bell icon for notifications. Like, he memorized it. It's really cute. But also, what is this world we live in now? I was raised this way, and I guess it worked out. Well, you're raised on YouTube. I do find myself like watching YouTube more than I do Netflix or any other streaming service out there. It's true. Get him to say smash that like button. Yeah, totally. Because it's cute. Because if I say it, it just sounds like desperate. But if he says it, it's adorable. And more people will probably actually do it. My favorite thing about this shot is just this house. I'm loving on it. A little bit too much. I need to move on. Get back to it later. I'll work out the rest of the colors here. Since I'm just locking transparency, I can just kind of almost scribble whatever color I want, you know, in these areas, because color doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but it's more like it should be more feeling than like accurate. Got to pass the squint test. That's it. But yeah, I could throw whatever color I want into these areas, and it should look kind of alright, as long as I keep my values in check. Okay, let's move on to this foreground mess. I just kind of select the value that I have there, and just start with my HSB sliders, and like throw in ish colors that are ish. Use a big brush. I'm just trying to think of this as like the local color, local value. Not not pushing highlights or shadows too much. It's sort of like a mushy middle. But I'll add a like a no-tone, I guess, shadow layer on top. Once I kind of get some hues down, I guess, right? Like some colors. I've been binge watching Landscape Painter of the Year on YouTube's. What is Landscape Painter of the Year? I don't even know what that is. Stop, you're making me hungry. It's almost midnight, and I'm in college campus without good food. Oh no! What college are you in, AK? Holy cow, you're streaming again? Wizard Powers. I think I remember this name. Yeah, this is the second one. The first one of this year, I did one late last year. Just sort of like, it's on the channel if you want to like watch it. But yeah, this is the second one back in, oh man, 5 years? I don't remember exactly how long. It's been at least 5 years. No, not YouTube. I'm not that young. I mean, my parents spoiled me a ton and gave me a lot of hard lessons like a cycle. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. So you can spoil them as long as you know, give them some corrections here and there. I don't trust any meat on college campus. I don't blame you. Hello. Cough break. Jeremy, glad I could drop by for a bit. Mr. Rogers, thank you so much. And also Portrait Art of the Year. So cool. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I'll look that up. It's Belmont Uni in Nashville. I'm an illustration major. Your work and channel really pushed me to pursue art as a career. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Or sorry. I don't know. One of the two. But yeah, good luck. That sounds fun. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in, AK. Alrighty. Where was I when my cough rudely interrupted me? This probably doesn't need to be on a different layer. Sometimes I'm just soft brush and just kind of lay it all down and then I think anytime there's a change in value, whether due to light or shadow or whatever, don't just change the value, also change hue. Right? So it's like the shadow is a little bit cooler, and then as it reaches the light, it gets a bit warmer. In the middle, it's a bit more neutral. Like, think about how we can shift not just the value, but also not just these sliders, but the sliders. Anyone else here painting along? Painting the scene, or if not, just doing your own thing. Wildfire cough? It might be. I don't trust the air in LA right now. I mean, that's a thing that's not covered as much. I know a lot of people that don't live in the burn area, but live, that a town or two over downwind, and they're having all kinds of they're wearing masks. They're you gotta have air purifiers in every room, and that's what we're doing too. Because it's not just wood that's burning, right? It's like everything that's burning. So I kind of just don't trust the air. It's a good thing it's raining because I think that helps the air quality, but still, damage has been done. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, maybe I'll move to Europe. I'll go to Sicily. How about that? We'll move to Sicily. All right, see you, Tien. You're probably long gone now because I'm so slow on the chat. But thanks for joining in. I'm drawing along, but I'm a chatterbox. Yep. I'm painting as well, but it's not the plein air. Okay. Awesome. What do you think of LEB sliders? See, I have them right here, actually. I use them all the time. Not all the time. I'm usually HSV, right? Which is what I have right here. But outside of that, I use this LEB. And I could share, I mean, I've shared many times how I use it. But one way I like to use it is, you select your local color there. And then usually it's default, your color picker is default H. You go to LEB, select the A. And then say, like, I want this to be lighter and cooler. If I go this direction, it's cooler. If I go this direction, it's warmer. If I go up, it's lighter. If I go down, it's darker, right? So I pick my local color and I go, okay, I want it to be a little lighter and cooler. I just sort of nudge it that direction. And then put it down. And then, let's say I want to go darker and warmer. That's how I use it. Just to get those kind of subtle temperature and value changes. Definitely like later in the painting, I'm going to be doing, much more of that than HSB. HSB is just a quick way for me, HSB is just a really quick way for me to get going in the painting. It's not really... Like, I want this to be a little darker, but I also want some green bounce light from the green and the overgrowth. Well, this is warm and cool. It's not green, right? So I just slide this little guy down a little bit, just to nudge it. It gives me a little bit of a greener color. So there you go. That's how I use LEB. Sad Clip Studio doesn't have LEB. Yeah. I think I'm. If you guys ever use Heavy Paint, I like using Heavy Paint on the iPad, and the guy who created it, Vaughn, good guy, friend of mine. I was bugging him like over and over again. It's like, you gotta get LEB sliders. When are you gonna add LEB sliders to Heavy Paint? And he eventually did. So for you folks who use Heavy Paint and like LEB, you're welcome. I mean, I'm probably not actually the reason why he did it. He probably always wanted to do it, but I was just being annoying about it. He's like, I think he called my bluff. He's like, okay, well, here it is. I got it. Like, oh, what? Oh, okay. I have nothing to complain about now. Heavy Paint's a great app. You guys should try it. If you haven't already. On the weather app, all Europe had green air quality except for Italy, which was just red. What? Why is that? Oh, there was a volcano that erupted? No wonder then. That's wild. Don't have to worry about volcanoes in Los Angeles. But if there is a volcano, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be the one. You ever see Volcano LA? Basically a documentary of what will happen. Yeah, I think Mount St. Helens. Yeah, yeah. Something like that. Possibly. The housing market would literally die. I think it's already having effect. I think the fires are already having effect in the housing market here. Yeah, we drove through Altadena, which is where one of the big fires. It's called the Eaton Fire. We drove through that neighborhood, and I like Altadena a lot. I have friends that live there, but like I actually was thinking of getting a house there. Oh, it's a really nice neighborhood, good schools. It's kind of what what I'm looking for if I want to stay in the LA area. And man, it's just so like, yeah, it's like a war zone. We drove through there, just drove through the neighborhood, just kind of gawk a little bit now that it's like the dust has settled a bit. And yeah, it was really sad, terrible. It's like a much bigger area than I thought. But then it's weird, and then you'll just have like areas where the houses weren't affected. There's just like it skips a few houses. It's strange, very random. But yeah, man, just like huge devastation. And it's like I don't know if maybe it'll rebuild. I don't know if it'll like totally rebuild. It's gonna take a long time. That's not a small area that was burned. It's a massive area. Always painting along. Wizard powers. You're awesome. Banana Brainy. Hey, Jeremy. So cool to catch you live. Thanks for jumping in. I'm glad you all could catch me live. It's not the best time, but it's the only time that I have available. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sure a lot of you just don't sleep. That's why you're here. All right. I think we're ready for some shadows. I am following kind of a process that I do when I do sketches. A little bit of a process, step by step. Do you always use reference? No. Well, yeah. I don't know. Yes and no. I think I always have some imagery around me that's kind of inspiring what I'm doing. I don't think I ever not have that, but I deviate from my references quite a bit. You know, I guess I start with that and I deviate from it. Yeah, I don't like. I believe in using references for just about everything, but also I try not to be bound by my references. So like I make sure that I'm not just copy machine. Even this sort of thing, like I'm working pretty directly from a reference because I'm streaming and that's what I can handle. Between like reading chat and like responding and talking and working. You know, like if I'm doing stuff for my job, I'm having to design everything kind of new, so I use a lot. I wouldn't be able to do this as much, or I'd be really quiet. But yeah, I typically prefer to use references for just about everything. But of course, like I've painted a lot of things, so like I think that I can take a lot of liberties and like make stuff up as well as follow a reference. So I'm not following reference. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. Maybe I can make a video about that, not a stream. Not try to explain it here because I just don't have enough time to like really go through how I use reference, which is more like I don't know, like inspiration more than anything. Ideas. It gets things going. Like these clouds are not in the reference. I'm letting composition sort of and flow and feel kind of dictate where these clouds are going. I described that so poorly. I'm sorry for the bad answer, but gives me an idea. Maybe I'll do an actual like proper video. I don't really make videos anymore on my YouTube, but maybe I will. Which brings me to the question: if y'all have any topics that you think would be good, either for a live stream or just for like any sort of video instructional or whatever, yeah, let me know. Like, put it in the chat, or definitely like put it in the comments for the video. Any questions you have or anything like that. I think my blocker on doing that, well, the number one blocker is time, and then the other blocker is just like, I'm not sure what people will want to know. There's so much out there these days, like pretty much anything, any question you have anymore, it's like there's some video about it, somebody's answering it. I guess like every artist will have their own different response to the same inquiry, right? So I don't know, maybe let me know what you guys are interested in knowing from me. I guess is it is it possible to share a little bit of your daily routine as a concept artist nowadays? Yeah, my routine is like kind of the same anymore. Now that I'm not art directing and I'm just a regular old concept artist, which has been amazing, by the way. It's been great. I've been loving it. Yeah, my routine is like, well, I gotta deal with all the home stuff, right? So by the time I stumble in the office here, I'm checking Slack. I'm looking at if there's any feedback from the art director. If there's any notes from production. You know, looking at my Jira task. It's like Jira is like the software we use to kind of track everything. And then I'll, you know, if it's something I've been working on, I'll pull up my wherever I'm at, my PSD. I'll pull up my Pure Ref. I have, usually for everything that I do, I have a Pure Ref. Again, it's those references. Because like the art director here is really good at updating Pure Ref with what he thinks is cool. So I got that out. I have to make sure I drink coffee. Gotta have that coffee. Gotta get my music going. I usually don't listen to the music I'm playing right here, but not too dissimilar. I mean, definitely like chill, like soundtrack stuff. The kind of music I used to play on stream before everything got copyright strike and whatever else. Before everything got lame. I used to stream when it was cool and you could play whatever you want. Not anymore. Not even Twitch. Anyways, so yeah, I put some music on and I don't know, I just start working. I just start sketching things. If I got a meeting, like, you know, I try to make sure I go to my meetings. Yeah. I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm not like doing reps in the morning or warm-ups or, you know, anything like that. I just kind of get into it. You know, there are definitely some days where maybe I'm not getting into it that quickly, and I'll do like a little sketch on the side, little personal thing, or like, you know, something like this, just just to kind of loosen up a bit if I feel I need it. I would say most times I don't. I just kind of get into it and just start working. But I've kind of had to get my stamina back because, you know, in art directing for as long as I have, it's mostly in meetings. I'm not like making art for 8 hours a day. I'm making art for like 0 or very less, you know, much less. So having to get back into like actually making art again was like, it took a little bit to get my stamina back, I'll say. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. It's a great answer. I wonder because sometimes making studies I feel is different than concept design, but I feel like I always need some kind of reference. I wonder if that's a bad thing. No, not a bad thing. Absolutely not a bad thing. I think I believe in using reference for everything, pretty much. But you know, the devil's in the details. Like how you use reference, I think really does matter for your personal growth, and you know, just for making sure you're staying fresh and you know coming out with the most original design possible. So no, totally don't feel bad. The no ref thing is like stupid. You know, just ignore that. Can I make things without ref? Sure, but I think it's just always going to be a little better if I do some research and really like look at what I'm painting, even if I'm making it up. You know, like I'm making I can make up a design of a mech, right? The design of it, right? But I have references of like other mechs and junky bits and rusty textures and things that like I can always like kind of look on and draw from, like even though I'm making something up. I think of it more like that rather than just like I'm doing a study of whatever I'm looking at, especially for like if I want to create like original worlds or original designs. I'm more taking like multiple things and jamming them together rather than like I'm going to copy this now and then I'm going to copy that. That makes sense. I don't know about other people, but for me, what made your old video so special was the inspirational vibes that it had. When I finished watching, I was immediately inspired to pick up a brush and paint. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that kind of feedback's great. Like, you know, for me especially, I don't know what people take, you know, from looking at the videos and stuff. So, but yeah, like anything that you guys want me to cover, maybe I can cover stuff like in a short video. Will this be saved here on YouTube to watch again later? Just user 5. Yeah, absolutely. This will be saved forever unless I delete it. The music you used were a great part of it, which is sad because nowadays copyright. Yeah. No more Ori soundtrack. I remember that was like the go-to. That was one of my favorite soundtracks. I don't know, like Bloodborne soundtrack. I think I played that a bunch. Once I had an artist tell me that after looking at my portfolio, that no art director will hire me because my work looks referenced. Interesting. I don't know what they mean by that. That's weird. It's a weird thing to say. It looks referenced. Yeah, I don't know. Do they mean like it looks like you're just doing studies of references? Or I don't know what that means. I mean, I would say don't like if you get like you get portfolio reviews or like feedback, I would just like take anything actionable, discard the rest. It's all grain of salt. Hear from a lot of different people. Always know that whatever feedback you're getting is through a very specific lens of that person, and it isn't the truth. It isn't the only way to go. Keep an open mind. You know, don't let any single voice like trap you. I would get feedback from artists that are very accomplished, that work in a way that you would love to work in. See what they have to say. If you get feedback from somebody who's got a lot of experience, but their work isn't really in line with what you want to do, or you know what you're going for, they could give you like good advice and feedback certainly, but I don't know, in giving you like honest feedback about how your work looks, it's always going to be clouded in their own biases. That's that's hard to that's hard to hear sometimes. You know? When you're really just trying to improve and you want to get feedback from anyone who give it to you. After doing these clouds over and over again, I don't know how I feel about them. I was thinking about doing, I don't know, it as an idea for like a shorter YouTube video. Maybe I could do, pick somebody's submitted art and just do like quick feedback and just like make it public to anyone. Maybe as an idea, but you know, like I just said about feedback, it's, it's so it's so um, it's so heavily biased towards the one who's giving it. Maybe if I do a disclaimer in the beginning of every video, this doesn't mean I'm right and you're wrong or anything like that. Blah 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 blah. Because I don't want people to come away with like the wrong feeling or intentions. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Justin. Just I keep saying Justin. Just user. Just user. Tutorial on brush economy. Ooh, yeah. That's a big topic. I think that's too advanced for me. I need someone to teach me that. The Zelda fan art video you made was the starting point of my career, man. I think if you focus more on that motivational side, it would be a banger. All right, thank you, Fernando. We feeling good, chat? What's up? Gansito. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good today. Yeah, I guess it was someone who does very exaggerated stylized character-based work, but then I see artists like Alberto Mielgo, I don't know how to say that, and I get confused. Yeah. Somebody with a strong like personal style, you know, that everything they say is sort of biased towards that. Like when I give portfolio reviews and feedback, I really, really, really do try to like remove my own bias from my feedback, right? Like I keep it to like general good advice, not that anyone, any sort of like anybody can get like inspiration, motivation from. It's not like specific to how they should paint, how they should draw. I tend to avoid that unless people are, they really specifically want to know how I do things and they want to work like that, right? Then I will give them more specific direction that way. I tend to just keep my feedback pretty general and geared towards what they're personally interested in. Usually I'll ask what they're interested in first and what they're going for, rather than be just like, say, here's what you need to go for. That makes sense. Like, I don't like, yeah, I mean, because I know what it's like from the other end, like to get feedback like that and think, oh my god, I'm doing it all wrong. No, it's not. It may not be that you're doing it all wrong, right? So it's just, yeah, it's just making sure that the feedback you're getting is directed towards what you actually want to do and not what they want to do. I try to avoid that. But if I'm doing like a paint over kind of thing like I used to do here, it's purely just like reinforcing fundamentals rather than like what I would do necessarily. It's like, what's your intention? What are you trying to do? And then, okay, now I'm going to overlay just like fundamentals on top of light and color, perspective, form language. What's your vision for it? Here's how we can emphasize your vision, And I'm not going to like change the painting to what I think is cool. It's like, if we just thought a little bit more about this fundamental here, that's what it would look like. And since this is a big part of what your image is trying to say, what if we emphasize this? More like that. If that makes sense. Brush economy. Oof. That's a tough one. Yeah, I guess it was someone who does oh, you already read that. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, any other ideas for things you guys want covered? Brush economy.
I love you.
Just use the largest size brush you can. Practice note on sketching. Maybe that helps. I think, Tully, you've already heard me talk about all this stuff before. All right. Speaking of Noton, I gotta get going on this. We're gonna be here all night. Let's put some light and shadow with this thing. It's looking a little flat.
I love you.
Don't really know why I'm starting over here. The Noton tutorial are always really great. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I've done that. I've done that talk many times. So yeah, I probably have enough material to do that. Well, I'm doing kind of a note-on right now, so I guess this is it. Here it is. Do you like starting with a drawing or note-on or both? I mean, I like with this, I'm starting with everything kind of all at once, like shape, drawing, note-on. I'm putting it all on the line here. I'm using all of the methods all at once. And then maybe for some paintings, like, you know, if it's like if it like got a really like strong sun and there's really, you know, bright sunlight, maybe it's a desert shot or something, then maybe I'll use Noton more. If it's more overcast, sort of like this, I'm gonna separate everything based on like shape, foreground, middle ground, background, more so. Yeah, I just like I adapt my, I guess, my painting method based on the image and what I'm trying to do, and even the brushes that I choose for it, you know, may have something to do with that too. So like you can kind of see, just like popping this shadow in, it's already kind of adding some depth to the scene. Yeah. Lots of depth. And I'm keeping it on its own layer because then I can pretty quickly adjust the color if I don't really like the color. If I want to add some like color temperature to it. I'm using the lasso tool, right, just to get a nice, cut a nice mat. So I'm not like butchering my drawing while I'm doing it. While I'm adding the shadows in. I like how nobody's asked me what's Noton. I feel that's cool. Like everybody's heard of that term. I remember it was a thing that like nobody really understood, or nobody knew what it was, and it's cool that like people are more aware of it, I guess. Or you're just, everyone here is just freaking awesome. I'm preaching to the choir here. I learned what Notan was from my high school art teacher. Oh, that's so cool. He was a very nice teacher. Sounds like a very smart teacher. You made a really cool point about giving feedback. I think some artists aren't able to see the potential / trajectory of someone else's journey. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think maybe it's just like you only really know your own path, and it's hard to like see others' paths and trajectories. I think just like being open-minded about not everybody needs to follow the same path. Like this isn't like getting your law degree, or you know what I mean. It's not like being a doctor, where there's kind of a similar trajectory that is expected. It's different. It's a creative field. I think inspiring people to be creative is probably the most important thing, rather than like you have to do X and have to do Y. So whatever kind of feedback helps bring out that creativity, I think, is the better tactic as a teacher or instructor. Like, yeah, I used to have a big spiel about that, where I was just like, I don't care if you do your assignment with chicken wire, and I don't know what I said, wood planks and chicken wire or something stupid like that. Like whatever achieves or answers the core question. No matter what your tool is, your process is, there's a million tools and processes out there. There's 1,000 ways more. There's an infinite amount of ways of like answering the same question. Being focused on that, I think, is setting yourself up for some frustration. But just genuinely, earnestly answering the question and genuinely, earnestly being inspired and creating is probably the more important thing. Then you gotta work this way. And no, man, like this process is the way to do it. That attitude. And there's like a lot of, I'm not saying like people do that, but there's a lot of that, on YouTube or whatever. And I think that gets clicks and that gets attention. How to 10 steps to 5 easy ways to how to tutorial. I'm ranting now, but yeah, like just honest creativity is something not really talked about. I think because like with concept especially, and with BizDev, concept, whatever you're doing, like there's so much emphasis on making a pretty image that the idea and the creativity and the originality is like an afterthought. And of course, like you got to make your images presentable, and it's like there's a lot, like that's my career, right? It's been that. So I guess maybe I'm a hypocrite for saying it, but I think something that got lost in me and I see getting lost is just have an honest idea, a genuine idea. An idea is like true to who you are, and not always what you feel others expect from you or what you think is expected. And by doing that, you kind of stand out then, and then you get recognized. And then everyone follows you. So, I don't know. Just my thought. Not saying I'm good at that or I did that or anything. It's just like how I feel through like being part of this community and industry for a long time. A long time? I don't know. For a longish time. I found that my biggest stumbling block, my biggest, the thing that kept me back the most was always myself. And I still keep myself. Even doing this is like hard for me. Probably why I'm doing it. Anywho. David Cebolas. I'm sorry. Hi, Jeremy. Greetings from Japan. Good to see you live streaming again. Hey, this is actually a good time for Japan. Bad time for everywhere else. Japan is good. Thanks for coming in. How do you get better at design aspect? Design. I think graphic design fundamentals are critical to composition, to concept design, to any sort of design. Like I think like doing an environment concept, making a good composition is a graphic design problem first. If you're talking about like shape language and you're talking about how forms interact with each other and how this particular location creates their architecture. It's always about design, graphic design. For me, it's just like, how do I take A and B and mash them together and make C? If I were to put it very simply, it's that. And sometimes like it seems like stupidly simple, but it works. So, being very clear about like your hierarchy of reads. What's my first read, second read, third read? I bet like if anyone on my team that when I was art directing or leading a team, I was giving them feedback. One thing they probably heard from me ad nauseum is like, what's the main read? This is the main read. What's your first, like, hey, since it's this function, this should be the first read. That's something I think about, the way I think about it. It's a hierarchy of reads. And it's artist's job to organize that hierarchy. It's a concept artist's job to organize that hierarchy and then pitch it. There's another good topic for videos: how to balance creativity and don't get lost in the process. Yeah, agree. So valuable. Yeah, it's easy to get overwhelmed by this is how to make a concept art portfolio. Yeah, totally. When you're learning in the beginning, like there's too many voices out there saying how to do this, how to do that. That it can be overwhelming, right? I would recommend just stripping all that away and just do what's always comfortable for you. Like make that your core, but then in small ways challenge yourself to the left and right. So I'm gonna do the thing that's my bread and butter each time, but this time I'm gonna do something slightly different, not majorly different, right? And then maybe on the side you could learn new processes, do studies, learn new software, but always go back to your core then okay, maybe there's a small way that I can introduce that. Right? Only if you have time and patience and are okay with failing, do you jump to a different track and live in that track for a while. Like, oh, instead of, I'm going to learn Blender now and just only use that. It's totally valuable. You should do that. But like, know what you're getting into when you're doing it. There's a high likelihood of failure, frustration, and be okay with that. Just suck a little less each day. That's terrible. Be a little, make work that's slightly better the next day, the next attempt. Yeah, sometimes I get stuck in the like, okay, how the heck do I design a shoe? I never wanted to be a shoe designer. Then 3 hours worth of Googling shoes later. Yeah. Well, then you go back to, okay, what is the question that needs to be answered? Like, what is the function of it? Who's your audience? Where are your core inspirations? Give yourself some direction there, right? And then that kind of narrows what you're Googling in terms of your search, because you have a pretty good idea of your direction on paper, not visually, but just like almost written out. And then at least you're starting from a narrower field before you're getting carried away. Yeah, there are a lot of times, like when I was teaching and I would see the students' homework and it's just all over the map. They're like, there's no hierarchy of reads. There's no like, this is the main read, second read, third read. It's confusing to look at. And then I look at their reference, like their peer ref, and it's just like hundreds of images. And it's like, well, there's your problem. You got to curate your references. You got to like pick 3 or 4 that are like your main references. Stick with that. Suck a little less every day. Yeah. That didn't come out right, did it? That's how I feel though. Just like I want my next painting to be just a little less shittier than my previous painting. Oh right, you can't swear. I'm demonetized now. I actually don't monetize. I don't even know what I'm worried about. Yeah, we put such like lofty expectations on ourselves when really we're just trying not to suck. You don't need to be like the absolute best. Just be a little better each day. A little better. Some days, maybe not. Something about this underpainting. A little wild. A little too wild for me right now. Spent a lot of time thinking about how I'm gonna paint these little underpainting moments. Do I go warm? Do I go cold? Do I make it hot? Too bright? Too dark? It's kind of not the point of them, but it turns out that's how it ends up being. I end up thinking about it a lot. Yeah, sometimes I'll even just make a layer underneath. Add a little bit of that underpainting. Let it show through on the edges. Kind of gives it a little bit more strength. You know, people love chromatic aberration and they throw it on all their images. And, you know, I do this all the time. I mean, especially when I was working on like sci-fi stuff, I always just do that because it just, I don't know, looks cooler. But I was thinking about it a lot. I was like, why is that so, why do people like that? I think it just adds like an extra layer of excitement and vibration and, yeah, I don't know, color dynamics that looks really cool. All right, let me catch up on this chat here. Have you ever felt stagnated? Last year I read books and kept studying at a good pace, but I still feel like I have stagnated for some reason. Even with the suck a little less philosophy. Alright, we gotta stop saying that, guys. Yeah, I mean, sure, that's like stagnation. I think that's pretty normal to feel that way. I think a lot of people feel that way from time to time. I mean, that's just been my whole last I don't know, few years. It's been me, and maybe that's why I'm back here, you know, streaming a bit more, because I've been feeling that stagnation a bit, you know, and you know, I wanna break that feeling. So, but it is just a feeling, right? It is just it's a state of mind. You know, it's not real. And that's kind of what I meant when I said, you know, sometimes like the thing holding me back the most historically has always just been myself. If you believe it, then it's real. You know? So, don't believe it. But I think it's okay to like acknowledge the feeling and recognize it, but then recognize that it's not real. I think your mind, like your mind has a lot of power. There's a lot of power in the mind, right? I'm not gonna sing the Parappa song, but yeah, there's a lot of power in the mind. But no, it's true. Like I think there's a lot like your mental state, I think, dictates a lot about your attitude and your outcomes in life. So having that PMA, positive mental attitude, is critical. I am very, like, I can be very cynical and I'm very self-deprecating a lot, but like, you know, hence the suck a little less thing. But I both acknowledge it, but then also try to, okay, well then what am I doing? Like, how do I improve? What's the next step? I will get there. It's not too late. What action can I turn that into, you know, try to turn that into action in motivation. But you know, I've been there, certainly. Not trying to say like I'm above that or anything, because I'm not. But if you tell yourself it's not real, I think there's some power to that. Try crazy stuff like throw coffee at paper and then scan it, use it as a texture. Sure, why not? Why not? Do something crazy. You know, the suck a little less line, I think, is a positive mental attitude, right? Because it's declaring that yes, this didn't turn out quite like I wanted it to, but it's gonna be better next time. So I would say that that's actually positive mental attitude. But feel free to disagree. Yeah, but actually thinking that it's not real is something that I didn't think before. Yeah, yeah. Just tell yourself, cool. What am I gonna do about it? You know. We are all our own worst enemies. Some of the best artists that I know that I'm friends with, that like I think are fantastic, they have, well, I wouldn't say like 100%, but a lot of them don't really have that much self doubt. You know, they're kind of not saying they don't have any doubt, but they kind of live with a lot less self doubt. They just go, "Oh, I got this cool idea. I just want to try it," and then they don't think two things about it, or they go, "Oh, this new process or technique look cool. I saw it. I just want to do it." They don't, you know, like when it's me, when I think about it, like, oh man, I'm gonna have to learn this new software, and how much does it cost, and you know, is this really worth it? Like, you know, like I go through like this mental discussion before just doing it. And a lot of the artists that I'm friends with and like kind of come up with, I guess, they're always just like, oh, I saw a thing and I just did it and I thought it was cool and it was fun, and it's like no thought about or doubt or, you know, second guessing. It's just like I see it, I want it, I do it, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Like maybe 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 that's just not me. I don't know. Like I'll go through this like the whole thing. I'm trying not to do that anymore, you know. But like for many years, I would do that. Right, that same kind of discussion I'd have in my own head. Um, you just gotta like or that and just go head first. It's the fear of failure, I think, is really what it is. And that's why I want to call this stream like paint, fail, repeat. The repeat is probably the most important word of the three because it's like, yeah, fail is going to happen, but that's fine. Just do it again. Suck a little less. you that kind of mentality. Some of the best people that I know kind of have that attitude. It's something that I found is like pretty consistent. Like to me, yeah, making art is in it. It's therapy to me. Like especially painting like this. So sometimes it's hard for me to do something outside of what I do. So, but it's always it's good to push yourself and just remove that self doubt. And I don't say that I'm not like when I say these things, I'm not saying it because like I'm above it. I'm saying it because I've gone through it so many times that I've recognized the pattern and I acknowledge the pattern, and then try to say that it doesn't exist. you know, maybe you do, maybe you don't. No, yo, never thought I'd see this channel active again. What's up, Frank? Well, here we are. The world's on fire, and I thought, no better time than to dust off that old YouTube channel, give it another go. No better time than to paint random virtual plein air Google Street views. Really, no better time. Thanks for joining in. I'm kind of just making stuff up now. This doesn't exist. I wasn't originally going to put this in here. There it is. It's okay. Thank you guys for hanging in here, watching the whole thing. If you're watching this later, yeah, definitely thank you. This has gone on for quite a while. We're probably gonna wrap it up here pretty soon. But please put in the comments or the chat topics you think would be good for me to cover. Things you'd want to learn, things you think I could make smaller videos on. I want to start doing more smaller bite-sized videos. There's a lot of just through the years of teaching, there's just a lot of little lesson. I don't know, lessons sounds pretentious, but just like little bits of stuff that I learned that I think could be useful to people in a very digestible way, and I want to start sort of preserving those thoughts somewhere before I become addled and lose them. Um, so maybe, yeah, maybe I could do like some smaller video stuff if I get some time. The live streams are great because I don't have to prepare at all. I literally just like hit go live and then I just go and I don't overthink it. When I make like actual videos, I tend to overthink it and overcomplicate it. I'm gonna try not to do that. So yeah, let me know if there's anything that interests you guys. hmm How long have we been going here? What's the time at right now? We've been going since what 8:30. Yeah. Okay, we're getting close to 3 hours. Definitely, definitely need to work on this a bit more. I think one thing I wanted to play with was adding in some light. One fast way I like to do that is literally just to like make a copy of the layer like that, and then I just like throw a mask on it, and then I just paint with the mask light. Oh boy, where's my light coming from? Maybe something like this. There is a Discord. If you guys want to join it, the link is in the description. If you want to post whatever you're working on during the stream, feel free to jump in there and post away. I'd love to see what you guys are drawing, painting, creating. While I was doodling here. So if I decide to add in some light, I can plan out my lighting scheme here. And it's non-destructible. It's just on a mask on a separate layer. So keep it or not keep it. Question for you, Jeremy. Do you still do mentorships? No. No. No, I don't really have as much free time. My only time would be weekends, but usually like I'm hanging with the kids then, trying to spend time with them. So, probably not for the foreseeable future. Yeah. If I did anything, it would, gosh, I don't know. It would be like the stuff I'm putting for free on YouTube, small bite-sized stuff. Maybe Gumroad, maybe Patreon, but I don't have time for Patreon either. So yeah, probably not much, honestly, in the way of like formal teaching. Unless it's something that I could like pre-record and put on Gumroad, or yeah, it just doesn't fit my current lifestyle. I will do smaller workshops, like I'm doing CDW in Adelaide. I'll do online workshops. Those are shorter. They're just like weekend stuff. I did one with Gallery Roca. I'm gonna probably do another one with them this year. Um, I don't know. I do stuff with warrior painters here and there, so maybe I'll be on one of those again. Um, yeah, just keep your eye and ear out for that. I'll of course announce everything probably on Instagram if I do. But yeah, probably no formal mentorship. Unfortunately, I just don't have the time in my life right now for that, which is a bummer because I love doing it. It's my favorite thing to do is the mentorship more than anything. But like, yeah, I just can't. Sorry. Maybe when my kids are older or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that again. Or if I'm just like completely out of work and I could spend weekdays on it. Yeah. Awesome painting so far. The texturing is crazy. Thank you, thank you. I just finished what I was doing. Gonna post there. Awesome. Thank you, Fernando. I'm having a bit of issue with the Discord in the description. It's a channel link rather than an invite. Um, I okay. I put a link in there, but maybe I'll update the link in the description if it's the wrong one. Maybe Zen, you can you know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Thanks a bunch. Banana, that's okay. Thank you for whatever you do share. Yeah, of course. All right. I think we're going to call it here. Music's been dead for a while. So thank you guys for joining in. Really do appreciate it. Yeah, we'll do this again. Oh, whoa. We'll do this again hopefully sooner than the last one was over a month ago. It was like a month and a week or so, maybe a month and a couple weeks. So hopefully we'll be back at this sooner. Um, But yeah, I'd like to do some smaller video stuff. So if you guys, again, if you have any ideas for things you'd like to know or see or me to discuss, I'd be happy to give that a shot. Otherwise, thank you guys for joining in. Really appreciate it. Take care. And we will, yeah, we'll see you next time. Alrighty. Bye.